Hey, listen, I'm making a video today where I'm talking in the van. I get to the shop, I set up the shop, I'm gonna do some woodworking, and it's. I was just saying how this is an ADHD person's dream, uh, but I found this in the shop. It was all gunky, and this is the preamble to it. It's just a quick, short video. This is the contraption that, as you'll see, it just holds up the spare tire underneath the Astro van. And I just knocked all the gunk off of it and cleaned it up with some WD-40 and some 4/0 steel wool. It's pretty clean now. There was a guy that wanted this, and I would sell it to him for 50 bucks. I'll probably list it for that or more. I've got the four fasteners for it, cleaned them up pretty nicely. There's a little rubber thing that goes in this hole here. I'm going to fit that back in right there. And I hope you guys enjoy this just quick one. I mentioned already, you'll hear it. But real brief, somebody had made a comment about the tire on the back of the van and trying to convince me to put the tire back under the van. For four-wheeling, that makes no sense, because here's the deal. You want the vehicle, when you see a 4x4 and the tire's on the back of the vehicle, why? Why is that? It's because usually when you're 4x-ing, you're off-road. First of all, it's uncomfortable off-road to get on your back and try to get a tire out from underneath your vehicle. You could also be in the mud up to the frame rails of the vehicle. You can't get the tire out. That's the reason that you do it. And I'm going to be utilizing the space where the tire used to mount underneath the vehicle to mount some gas cans. So that's why. At any rate, enjoy this. All right, this video is definitely going to be great for those of you who suffer from ADHD. You're loving this. Can't even get to the woodworking yet because as I'm moving stuff around, I'm discovering stuff. This is the contraption that bolts underneath the van on the Astro van that holds your spare tire in place. So I just used a piece of wood to scrape up all the muck from this. And now I'm just going to, all that right there. So I'm just spraying it with some WD-40, and I'm going to quickly hit it with some 4/0 steel. We'll also have the 4 bolts that hold it in place. Somebody had reached out to me a couple times. I haven't heard from him. Could have been a year ago that he wanted this. He knew I was going to be putting that bumper in place. And look, there's a little rubber cap here where you oil it. I'm going to put that back in place. So, dude, if you're watching this, and you want it, let me know. I'm going to put it for sale for like 50 bucks. It's not a lot of money, but this thing it works flawlessly. There's no rust. A lot of people need these parts that are in the rust belt, and I'm not going to go nuts restoring this here. I'm just kind of getting the muck off and making it look nice so I could take a couple pictures, maybe put it up on Marketplace. I've been very lax about listing things on Marketplace. I put a bike's back there. It's an 83 Schwinn. So some guy last night was going back and forth with me. How do you know it's an 83? Well, because of the serial number. Then he's well, then it can't be a Chicago Schwinn because they stopped making them in 82. And I'm like, dude, you're talking to the guy who put all that information out there, or one of them. I got a video. It's got almost 100,000 views on how to identify Schwinn frames, and that frame is featured in that video. I tried to explain it to him. He wasn't getting it. It took like 3 responses for him to understand that Schwinn closed its doors in 82, and then Murray went and they bought all the Schwinn stock to build those cruiser bikes, the Schwinn cruisers. And then for about 2 years, 83, 84, Murray assembled, I don't know what the count was, but they assembled thousands of Schwinns, all from genuine Schwinn parts that were all manufactured in Chicago. So those are still considered Chicago Schwinns. At any rate, it's a problem listing stuff with people when you know stuff, And anyhow, it all worked out fine. He didn't make an offer on the bike. But this here, you can see how well this is cleaning up. Unfortunately, you know what? I'm kind of out of paper towels. What a bummer. Gotta buy paper towels. It's a thing about doing stuff like this for a living. Expendables, man. The money you spend on expendables, you have to factor that into all of your projects, and most people don't. And it's one of the reasons why people that start doing woodworking or anything like that fail in the end or walk away from it because they haven't figured out how to make money from it, how to make a profit. It's because you're not putting a percentage in for your expendables, and you have to charge the client for those things. Like, even if you've got a box of nails or screws on you, you go in to do a job, you still have to charge for the fasteners that you're using on those projects. You just have to work it in. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. Add an extra $15, $20, whatever it is for your expendables to cover that. You know, sometimes I have to charge to go buy a box of something, and then I've got that box, you know, and I can use it on future projects, but I still have to remember to charge that money to people to cover those expenses. And just doing this all for you in real time. You see how easy this is. If you use a piece of wood, you're not going to scratch the metal up. And, you know, I have an abundance of hardwoods here that I can use for this purpose all the time. It's really a perfect thing for this. And again, I'm not trying to make this clean enough to eat off of. I just want to clean it up a bit so it looks better in pictures. It's a pet peeve of mine. People list things for sale all the time. If they're asking top dollar, they better do what I'm doing at least. You know, don't go super crazy, but sometimes they're asking top dollar for something that is rusty, still has a bunch of muck on it, and they just, you know, they just don't care, and that's fine. But I guess if it's a rare enough piece, somebody's still willing to pay for it. Anyway, I'll get this done, and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. For you, it'll be a second. All right, I didn't go super crazy with it. I've got the original 4 fasteners for this thing. Kind of clean them up a little bit, and here's the piece. And you can see on here it says Dura Auto Systems Inc., patent number, other patents pending. It's got something else up there. This little rubber thing goes in this hole, so I'll fit that in there in a moment. But came out okay. And now you got it. So you know, just one of those things. You know, it's now. I bet if I put this on eBay, I could actually get a pretty good amount of money for it. People probably bid on it. People down there in the Rust Belt, they need this thing, and it's hard for them to find it there because they're all rusted out. They don't work. This one works perfect, just as good as it did the day it came out of the factory. I've also got the original jack and like the vinyl kit holder that holds the parts that make all this work somewhere. At any rate, if the guy who wanted this contacts me, we'll talk about that. Otherwise, I'll probably put this up for sale. And hey, it's worth whatever you spend on it because of the convenience. You don't have to go to the junkyard now, get on your back in a dangerous situation, possibly, because a lot of times the tires are off those cars, and try to pull one of these and make it work. This one here, you can install it just as it is. It's going to work perfectly, and with all the parts to it. So ADHD, I think that's going to be like the name of this video today. Let's get to the woodworking. Anyhow, just a quick thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this real short video, and let's adjust the camera there. And have a great day. Be kind to one another. Quick short one for you. There'll be a longer one coming out later today by the end of the day, just showing what I ended up doing in the shop today as far as woodworking goes. Hope you enjoy that one too.